freedom and insist on the
perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Flag, I will call upon Deanne Munger to give the history of the flag.
Heraldry is as old as the human race. The carrying of banners has been a custom among all peoples in all ages. These banners usually contain some concept of the life or government of those who fashion them. The evolution of the American flag marks the progression of the government of the American people. From the founding of Jamestown in Virginia in 1607 until 1775, the flag of England was the flag of the peoples of the America. In 1775, the pine tree flag was adopted for all colonial vessels, and this was the banner carried by the Continental forces in the Battle of Bunker Hill. The southern colonies, from 1776 to 1777, used the snake flag. In the latter part of 1775, the Continental Congress appointed a committee to consider the question of a single flag for the 13 colonies. That committee recommended a design of 13 alternate stripes of red and white with an azure field in the upper corner, bearing the red cross of St. George and the white cross of St. Andrew. John Paul Jones, the senior lieutenant of the flagship Alfred, hoisted this flag to the masthead on December 3rd, 1775, and 1 month later it was raised over the headquarters of General Washington at Cambridge, Massachusetts. In compliment, he wrote to the United Colonies. This flag, called the Continental Colors and the Grand Union, was never carried in the field by the Continental Land Forces, but it was used by the Navy as its exclusive ensign and was the first American flag to receive a salute of honor, a salute of 11 guns from the Fort of Orange in the Dutch West Indies. In response to a general demand for a banner more representative of our country, the Congress on June 14, 1777 provided, quote, that the flag of the United States be 13 stripes of alternating red and white, and that the Union be 13 stars, white on blue, on a blue field, representing a new constellation. It is generally believed that in May or June of 1776, a committee consisting of George Washington, Robert Morris, and George Ross commissioned Betsy Ross, a Philadelphia Quakeress, to make a flag from a rough design they left with her. It is said that she suggested that the star should have 5 points rather than 6. This starry banner was first flown at Fort Stanwix, called Fort Schuyler at the time, near the city of Rome, New York, on August 3rd, 1777, and it was under fire 3 days later at the Battle of Oriskany, August 6, 1777, during a British and Indian attack. The first official salute to the Stars and Stripes was given on February 14, 1778, by France on the French coast, when the Ranger, under command of John Paul Jones, was saluted by the French fleet. This flag, then carried by the Ranger, was made by the young women of Portsmouth, New Hampshire, from stripes of their best colored silk dresses and the white wedding gown of a recent bride. It is said that the same Rangers flag was flown by Jones's ship, the Bonhomme Richard, in its thrilling fight by moonlight upon the high seas with the British frigate Serapis. When the Serapis struck her colors, the immortal fame of John Paul Jones was ensured as the intrepid defender of the youthful republic. The original 13 stars and stripes represented the original 13 colonies. In 1795, 2 additional stars and stripes were added to represent admission to the Union of Vermont and Kentucky. Under this banner of 15 stars and stripes was fought the War of 1812. It was the site of it flying over Fort McHenry on September 14, 1814, that inspired Francis Scott Key to write what was to become our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. Miss Margaret Young, who cut the stars for that particular banner, was the mother of Henry Sanderson, the Grand Altered Ruler of the Order of Elks in 1884. The Congress on April 14, 1818, adopted a resolution that on and after July 4, 1818, the number of stripes should be 13, that the blue field should carry 1 star for each of the 20 states in the Union, and that a new star should be added for each state thereafter admitted. Since 1818, there has been no change in the flag design, except that 28 new stars were added before July 4th, 1912, and this flag of 48 stars flew over this nation for 47 years until just before the Vietnam War. On July 4, 1959, a star was added for Alaska, our first non-connected state, and a year later, Hawaii, our island state, added a 50th star. Our present flag, 50 stars and 13 stripes. It is accompanied by the POW-MIA flag to recognize the plight and demise of a special group of our armed services, those who were prisoners of war or still remain missing in action.
Please stand and salute our flag.
Flowing leaf and sparkling wine. Knows it's white when April blossoms. Crescent moon or mountain snow. Knows it's blue in woman's eye, the ocean's depth or heaven's dome. No such pageantry of clustering stars and streaming light, and all the spectrum, the sea and sky. As we see. Our flag is at once a history.
On its fold is written the story of America, the epic of the mightiest and noblest in all history. In the days when peoples of old world groveled in abject homage, the hearsay of the divine right of kings, a new constellation appeared in western skies. The stars and stripes symbolizing the divine right to all life, liberty, happiness, and peace of the endowment of their creator.
And who among us can ever forget the sight of the firefighters raising the flag over the ruins of the World Trade Center? The military personnel draping our flag on the side of the Pentagon, or the citizens of Somerset County, Pennsylvania, placing our flag near the site of those brave Americans died fighting the hijackers of Flight 93. No other symbol could ever offer such comfort as we still today endure the horrors of that day. Today, American armed forces carry the flag in the villages of Iraq, the mountains of Afghanistan, and the jungles of the Philippines, and wherever terrorism may arise. This struggle against the sponsors of terrorism is the hardest battle yet, and this threat to our nation and to our way of life is certainly a great challenge as our flag has ever seen. The resurgence of patriotism since September 11th, 2001 has rekindled respect for our flag. Today we see the Star-Spangled Banner everywhere we turn, on homes, businesses, automobiles, and billboards. such displays stimulate our love for our nation and for what it stands. They remind us of the sacrifices made by the men and women of our armed forces around the world. And they are a tribute to the heroes of the police and fire department the nation over. The greatest significance of this flag, however, lies in the endurance that it has in the hearts and minds of millions of people. It has waved over unparalleled progress of the nation in developing democratic institutions, scientific and technology, and education and culture. It has served as a beacon for millions of poor and oppressed refugees abroad. It stands as a promise that the underprivileged will not be forgotten. What is the meaning of the flag of the United States? There can never be a definite answer to that question. There are people in this world that see it as a symbol of imperialism. Others see it as a destiny of the people. But references to this similar views of the flag was resolved by Woodrow Wilson when he said, "This flag, which we honor, under which we serve, is the emblem of unity, our power, our thought, and shape of this nation. It has no other character than which we give it from generation to generation. The choice is ours. Only love, truly love of the fellow man can create peace. The emblem and token of that is the love of the stars and stripes, the symbol of the American way of life."
freedom and insist on the